In this episode of the IT Experts podcast, we help you work out, do you dare to delegate? Welcome to the IT Experts podcast, the only podcast to help MSPs scale to 1 million, and if already there, get to 5 and go faster. At the end of the day, isn't it all about building a business that works for you rather than you for it? I hope you enjoy the show. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast. Today's episode is a really interesting one, and it was one that was driven, and the idea came from one of our clients. Thanks very much. I think you know exactly who you are. We were recently at one of our 8-week alignment sessions. Everything we do here at the Growth Hub runs on a 16-week program, 16-week cycle. And midway through, funnily enough, we have an 8-week alignment session. And one of our clients wrote on the back of his workbook as he was leaving, "Dare to delegate." And I thought that is fantastic. So I thanked him very much for the concept and the idea for today's show, which you're going to absolutely love, because the reason we put this together is because we know that, you know, as a techie business owner, you've always done everything yourself. You've been involved in the weeds. It's all to do with the technology. Yes, there's this whole business thing that's going alongside of things, but essentially you want to be in control. You need to be in control. The way that you're wired for working in the technology and making sure everything's all correct and in line builds on the fact that, you know, there's a lack of confidence very often about getting someone else to do the work. I can always do it myself better and quicker. Why do I need to train it? Why do I need to train someone else to do it? Because no one's as good as me. And some of our multi-7-figure MSPs or coin the phrase, 80% is good enough. If they're good enough for 80%, then that's good enough to where you need to be. It doesn't need to be 100% if you're handing out a task. And a lot of this is down to trust. A lot of this is down to the fact that you don't trust people to do a good job. You're worried about your fear of failure. You're worried about your clients are going to leave. They're not going to fix the technology properly, and you're just going to look bad to everyone. And that's just something that you never want to happen. But the problem is when you're doing it all yourself, you want to be in control, you don't trust other people, and you then create these bottlenecks, and bottlenecks stifle growth, because while you're mucking around in the weeds and while you're on the service desk and while you're organising things that you probably shouldn't organise, then it's stopping you from having great strategic thoughts about new products, new marketing lines, new ways to help the account management process, new ways to help the business to become more efficient, and more efficiency creates more productivity. So today we're going to help you to get out your own way, going to help you to dare to delegate like one of our clients. And, run through a bit of a list we got here, actually, to be honest with you, which is going to give you some great tips and tricks to help you overcome some of these areas and help you delegate more, achieve more, grow your business quicker, better, more efficiently, and more importantly, more profitably. So how do I get out of my own way? We hear this quite a lot of the time, and people come into the Growth Hub and they're sitting there and they're, thinking, there's no way on earth I can do that. I can't trust my team. They're not as good as that. I can't do this. I can't do that. And you without knowing about it, you're the blocker. And understanding when to delegate is a really good question, and what to delegate as well, because, delegate isn't dumping. Delegation can be used as one of the most powerful tools in your employee engagement, in employee productivity, employee efficiency, building a great team, building culture, all of these great things. It's one of the best tools, but it can be misused. And if you use it to dump on people, and if you use it to give people all the crap jobs that you don't want to do, then that's the wrong way around it. Delegation, handled correctly, should be an empowering event. It should be an empowering thing. Someone should feel really good that you've trusted them to give them some of the work to do that you were doing before. They should feel special about it, and you should feel proud that you've got someone that you can trust. And the first thing that we talk about and we look at is how we get into flow and how we get into to understand what you're good at. We've got a genius model here at the MSP Growth Hub. And basically what it does is it allows you to understand what you're good at, what you're amazing at, what you're all right at, what you're crap at, and what you really hate doing. And what this helps you to do is when we build this in with the senior leadership teams, this helps us to bring together all of the good areas and the areas that you're going to get into flow quicker. So what do I mean by flow? Flow is when you do something naturally, like jumping into the help desk and fixing a problem. Why is that your flow? Because that's how you're wired as a techie business owner, as potentially, most of the people listening to this podcast will be technical business owners, because it's your happy place. It's where you want to be. But as Stuart and I say, your happy place will eventually make you sad, because the sad side of things is that your business isn't going to grow. It's not going to be profitable. It's going to be hard work. You're going to be caught up in your bottlenecks. So by working out what you're good at and what you get into flow with and what you can do easily is really important, making a note of those things. Another one of the analogies and the tools that we use in the Growth Hub is around 10, 100 and £1,000 an hour tasks. Now, you might have heard this before, and what we mean by this is divvy up the work that you're doing and the work that your team are doing and your leadership team and your senior people are doing into £10 an hour skill set, £100 an hour skill set, and £1,000 an hour skill set. So let's start at the top. £1,000 an hour skill set is essentially the business owner. It's strategy. It's creating sales strategy. It's closing new business. It's coming up with ideas on how to grow the business, how to scale the business, how to recruit the right people. And that's the £1,000 an hour tasks. The more of those tasks you do, guess what happens to your business? Guess what happens to your bottom line? Guess what happens to your profitability? The next one down is one that you'll either do yourself or you'll actually cover off with your senior leadership team. And this is the £100 an hour task. So this could be managing and organizing, supervising the help desk. It could be, writing copy or putting copy together for a marketing campaign. It could be writing an email that's going to go in terms of an account management process to out to your clients, putting up the prices and all of that kind of good stuff. And it's kind of the middle supervisory level. Now, you are going to get involved in some of that, but the more of the £1,000 tasks, as I say, the better. But obviously, you can't do £1,000 tasks for 40 hours a week. You'd be burnt out because they take up quite a bit of headspace. But the £100 tasks are kind of the next level down. Now, the ones that we want to be really careful about are the £10 tasks, because these are the lower level admin types of tasks, like answering email, answering a help desk call, quickly fixing a password reset because it makes you feel happy. Now, some of these are the ones that we end up having a little bit of trouble with, because these are the things that people like to form to-do lists about. Now, if you write a to-do list down and you basically put all the things that you've got in your head on this to-do list, you're going to pick off the ones that are, and by the way, you've got no control over this, you're going to pick off the ones that are going to give you the biggest endorphin hit first, okay? So the ones where you can sit there and at lunchtime you've hit half your list. Wow, it's amazing. But the thing at the top of the list might be to write a new product launch, which could potentially deliver, tens of thousands of pounds worth of revenue into the business. But because it's a bit hairy, it's a big, horrible, audacious goal, and you don't really know how to approach it, then you do the little ones first. And this is where it start to get a little bit strategic around it. And the more and more time you spend in your £10 tasks, those are the ones that we need to really delegate over to your team. Supervise the £100 tasks and then focus on the £1,000 tasks. And the other thing as well that we've got here, with the opportunity, this is all around how do I keep control? If I go and hand over to somebody who's not going to do a good job as me, it's going to make my company look bad. I don't want to do that. Why am I going to do that? Why do I want people to, make me look bad, or they may not fix an issue properly? And how do I know if something's going wrong? Because if I was doing it all, then I know whether it would be right or wrong. So this is the kind of the opportunity. And the kind of the first place we're going to touch on this is we want to look at your processes, okay? Because the processes in place are going to help the scalability of your business. They're going to help you to give more people more opportunity, more training, more tasks, and more leverage for your time. And they're going to take those £10 tasks. So we always recommend that you get your processes out. Technical processes, the ones where you spend a lot of your time, where you need to let go first. Pick an easy one that that you can pass over quite quickly, and review it and build it and adjust it and create an even better process. But involve your team. And when your team, who are generally the ones who are out there doing the work all day, every day, are involving you, they're updating you, they're giving you all of the latest information that the clients are talking about, then your process becomes even more powerful. And once you've got this process mapped out on a wall or in whatever system you're using, or even if it's just on a piece of paper, then you're going to get more confidence that someone else can take a part of that process and deliver it without you worrying about quality of service, speed of execution, speed of delivery, and all of these kind of good things. So make sure that your processes are in place. Make sure that you've got accountable owners, not you, who are responsible for your processes, and review and build them with the team. There was a great comment book actually Dan Sullivan wrote all about teamwork called Who Not How. And it's all around understanding who you've got in the team, who's getting into flow, who's organising the processes, who's managing and being successful with the processes and client delivery, rather than getting caught up in the weeds and the mechanics and how things are happening. Imagine, rowing a boat. How easy is it going to be if there's more than one of you doing it? And it's because you've got the right team in place. They know what they're doing. This is just about making life easier, giving you more time, and making the business naturally more profitable by enjoying it a little bit more, and using that D word, that delegate. But building trust is a difficult thing, and how do you eat an elephant in bite-sized chunks, right? So you don't have to go and do everything all at once and relinquish all of your responsibilities as a business owner across to your team and let them fail and muck it all up, and allow people to make mistakes, allow people to have boundaries. The good old one we hear quite a lot is, I'm the only one who can put, the sales quotation together. That's not true. You're the only one who can put it together the way that you want it to be put together. But in actual fact, if you get someone else to run the sales process using a system and a rate card and a methodology to 80%, and then they pass it to you to 20%, how much more efficient is that going to make your time? How much more knowledgeable is that engineer going to be by making them understand more about how we build up that quotation, what's included, what new technologies we've got, what systems you're using, how it's going to be configured, and the actual price that we've got in terms of bringing that together. And once you put checks and balances in place, then people will be able to make mistakes. And remember, it's absolutely fine to make a mistake, but only make it once. The biggest thing about making a mistake is learning from it. Put the learnings from people's mistakes back into lessons learned meetings, put them back into team meetings, toolbox talks, whatever you want to call them, so people understand where mistakes have been made and where learnings can be made within the processes. Have a 360 review back into the process again, build it back in to allow people to do that and allow you to have that check and balance as well. So let me tell you about Steve, our client. His name is hidden to protect the innocent. He was worried about everything, right? He was the only one in the business. I think his business was about 650, 700K, something like that. He had about 7 or 8 people working in the business. And he absolutely knew he was a bottleneck, but he couldn't let go. He didn't want to let go because of everything I've just mentioned about the quality of service. And he was the only one who could do things at the right price and at the right quality and all of this kind of good stuff. But it comes to the time when he just needed a holiday because the guy was getting burnt out. So he did the best he could. He aligned up his team. He organised them what they needed to do. He knew that the projects had either finished or were starting or what was going on when he was on holiday. So before he went away, everything was kind of all in place. When he came back from holiday, I don't believe he checked his emails when he was on holiday, although they did have an escalation route if they needed to get hold of him. I don't believe there was any need for anybody to escalate. And his team pretty much said, that was good. When are you going away again? And he laughed to himself and he said, well, what do you mean? Come on, we need to have a run. No, everything's all gone through. Everything's fine. These tickets have all been closed. This has been done. That's been done. This project's been finished. And he was kind of like quite amazed by this because what had happened is, probably without him knowing it, I think, is he had put in place some control measures, some processes, some accountability so that he could go away on holiday. And when he came back from holiday, he wanted to resume normal business and just kind of fall back to what he was doing before. But his team wouldn't let him. They said, no, we've enjoyed doing this. You go off and do something else. Spend some more off-grid time is another thing we talk about at the Growth Hub, which is when you spend time focusing, working on your business. And there's a measure that we use to do that within the working week rather than getting caught up in the tech. And he was kind of taken aback a little bit, to be quite honest with you. He was just kind of sitting back and going, oh, hang on. Okay, then. All right. Well, we'll carry on and do that. So it is possible to do this. And it's always the same when we go on holiday. We always think the whole world's going to end. But in actual fact, when we get back from holiday, the world hasn't ended. No one's left. No one's died. And it's all normally resumed to business as usual. So look, if we focus on achieving more £1,000 tasks, you're going to accelerate your business. You're going to be able to do more with less. You're going to be more efficient with your time. You're going to be more productive, which means you're going to be more profitable, which means you can make bigger investments into the business, which means you can buy great people to operate those amazing processes to help your business go faster so you can help more people and get the life that you kind of desire. You build the trust in your team. You build the team, you build the culture, you build a great place that people want to work. All of a sudden, people don't leave. Why not? Because they love working for you. They love working with the environment. Work becomes a thing. It becomes a great thing. It becomes a really enjoyable place to be. And you get the right people in the right roles because you've got it all structured properly. And then you're going to get yourself into flow and you're going to get others into flow as well. And that's when life starts to get easy and starts to get more enjoyable and fun. You know, let's not forget the F word. So look, what I want to do as well in this episode, I just want to flick you back to episode 100, where myself and Stuart talked about aligning your team to step back from operations. Okay, this was a great episode where Stuart went into quite a bit of detail about how we can align the team so we can step back out of operations and kind of start to get yourself out your own way. So I want you to go and listen to that as well today, episode 100. And then also I want you to go and listen to episode 111, where Stuart again talks about getting out your own way. How do you step back? How do you have the confidence? How do you build that trust so you can move back away from the day-to-day grind, as it would be? So I hope you enjoyed this show today. I hope you enjoyed all the little tips and tricks and get massive value from it. Please jump over onto LinkedIn and tell us what you thought of it and all of that kind of great stuff. And we've always got some masterclasses coming up. We've got one coming up soon about how to get more out of your people, how to get more out of your business strategy to help your business go faster, get you to 1 million. And if you're already there, help you get to 5 and go faster. And all you need to do to find out all about that is go and we'll put a link in the show notes, number one. But failing that, all the other events that we have going on are at themspgrowthhub.com/events. So that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I look forward to catching up with you real soon. Take care now. So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, I'd love it if you could leave a rating and review on your favourite podcast platform. If you want to learn more about how to take your MSP to 1 million, or if you're already there, go faster, then come and join Stuart Warwick and myself in the Scale with Confidence Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. You go and enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.